everyone, my name is Nora and today I'm going to take you through a warm-up that I like to do before my HIIT workouts using a technique called myofascial release. And myofascial release, what it does is it helps break up the tissue called the fascia that wraps around the muscle. Over time, that tissue can get really tight, it can adhere to the muscle, causing knots, lots of pain or tension. So we're going to work on breaking that up today so we can have our muscles free to perform their full range of motion, and so you can get the most out of your workout. So what I recommend having is a ball like this. You could use a lacrosse ball or any type of hard ball, even a tennis ball, to really dig into different parts of the muscle and the fascia here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the lower body. So go ahead and take your ball, place it underneath one glute. We're gonna start with the back side of the body here. So what you're gonna wanna do is place the majority of your weight here on this ball using your hands for support. So you're gonna roll around the soft part of the glute. You wanna try and avoid any bones here and really work on top of the muscle. Now, if you feel a little piece of pressure or pain, what I want you to do is hold it right there for about 10 to 20 seconds. Breathe through it because it's gonna hurt. And hold it here, hold it here, hold it here. And then you can start to roll out again around that muscle. And you can work through different parts of this muscle group if you feel multiple knots. Again, find a different part. If you feel pressure, hold it. 10 to 20 seconds. And then release as you roll around. So we're working out the glute here. And then we're gonna move down to the lower part of the leg into the hamstring. So the back here behind the quad. So place the ball underneath your hamstring, readjust, set your hands aside so you can have the support you need. Making sure, again, most of your weight is on the ball. So we're really using our body weight here to add pressure into these different pressure points. So the hamstring tends to be really long and you can get a lot of knots here. So if you find that knot, really hold in place. Taking deep breaths, working through the pain, and release to roll around. Good. I'm gonna keep moving down the body, but again, this is your warm-up, so if you feel like you need to spend a little extra time on a certain area, you could feel free to go ahead and do that. Let's take the ball and place it underneath the calf this time. Now the calf, a lot of times what I recommend is working side to side. The calf muscles run up and down, lots of different muscle groups running up and down, so we're gonna wanna work the ball side to side over those muscle groups. You can achieve this by placing your hands down and getting your weight forward over the calf. Some folks find it helpful to place the ball on a block or a stack of books. You could do that as well just to achieve a better angle here. And you could just move it around, but then mostly side to side, breaking up any of that fascia that's over those calf muscles. One thing I also like to do sometimes is take the ball and rub it over the calves, really manipulating the muscles away from each other, breaking up some of the fascia that might be getting tight and adhering to those muscles. Good, so you can just take some time here to really manipulate through the calf. Let's take the other side now. I'll turn to the other side, so we're gonna work down the back side of the lower body, taking the ball, placing it under your glute, and starting to roll around. Again, feeling the pressure right over that ball. There's lots of different groups of muscles here in the glute, so you really wanna be thorough here, working side to side and front and back. Find that pressure point. I feel one right here. I'm gonna hold it for a few moments. Take some deep breaths through. Good, let the pressure here do the work, and then release and roll around. Good. We're constricting blood flow, and then we're allowing blood flow to go into the muscle, which is also really great as you warm up for different workouts. Let's move down, lower into the body, into the hamstring. So moving the ball down, placing your weight on the ball, using your hands for support, rolling through the hamstring. Good, you can rotate the leg a little bit as needed to get a little deeper. I feel a pressure point right here. Take a deep breath. I'm holding for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Roll it out. Nice. Good. I'm feeling a little bit of pressure down here in the lower hamstring, so I'm going to adjust my ball to get even deeper here. and roll through, finding that pressure point, that pain point, holding for about 20 seconds, taking deep breaths. Almost there. Release and roll through. Nice, everyone. Let's take it down to the calf on this side. Again, placing the ball underneath the calf, letting your weight fall onto the calf. You might have to shift your weight forward a little bit here, bending your other leg for support, working side to side in the calf. If you find that pressure point, same thing, hold it here for a few moments. Deep breaths and roll through. I'm gonna do what I did on the other side and take the ball and manipulate the muscle up and around, really breaking up any of those adhesions that might be forming from the fascia to the muscle. Good. This is great as a warm-up, great for injury prevention, because as you go into a workout, especially HIIT, where you're moving lots of different directions very quickly, you want to make sure you have full range of motion, and this is a great way to achieve that before a workout. Okay, so now we're gonna move into the side of the lower body, starting on our first side. Ball is gonna come in the crease of the hip here. Again, make sure you're finding the muscly part of the hip, not the bone. We wanna be working in the muscle. So, working here in the piriformis and into the glute. This is where, trust me, you're gonna find a lot of knots here, especially if you've been doing my workouts on Daily Burn. Hold it for a moment. If you have some pain or pressure, take a few deep breaths here and release. Working down the leg, we're gonna come into the IT band. Now, this is gonna be painful. This is the most painful part. I usually like to take this top leg and place it in front for extra support as I roll up and down the IT band. So the IT band is another form of fascia that runs up and down the side of the leg, connecting the glutes, the hip, down to the knee, so running alongside of this femur bone. And it can get really tight, especially if you sit at a desk all day or have your legs crossed. So take some time here to roll it out, manipulate the ball, move it down if you need to, holding it on that pressure point. Taking a few deep breaths here. Oh yes, I really feel this one. Rest in 3, 2, and 1. Come down. Good. So releasing some of the muscle and the tension that you might feel pulling on the knee. This is great, again, if you have knee issues. Let's take that on the other side. So placing the ball in the fleshy part of the hip, using your elbow and forearm here for support. Rolling into the glute, side and around. Taking a few deep breaths, find that little pain point right there. Yes, hold it for about 10 more seconds. Breathe in and out, and release as you roll around. Good. Move the ball into the side of the leg, working the IT band on this side. I'm gonna take that top leg and place it in front, rolling up and down the IT band. This one's definitely a little more painful if you're using a hard ball like this, so just be careful here. Really take time and use your hands to support. You can always use softer tools here like a foam roller or whatnot if this is just a little too painful. I'm gonna move the ball down here to really get into the side of the quad, side of the IT band, holding here for about 10 more seconds, letting this pressure point release. We'll roll it out in 3, 2, 1. Good, rolling out here. And in this warm-up, you can follow along with me, or again, you can take your time rolling out and releasing the different parts of your muscles that feel sore. So we're gonna move on to the final part of the legs, working on the front part of the leg. So take your ball and place it on the ground. Now you're gonna find the top part of your quad here, place the ball in on your toes, letting them curl under and on your forearms for support. Rolling forward and around, kind of like you're in a plank position here, but using your forearms for support, hips nice and low. Work up and down the quad here. Quad's another really long muscle group that runs down the front of the leg. So find the area that needs a little attention. Hold it on. Take a few deep breaths Let that release. Try and relax into it for 3, 2, and 1. Now just roll around a little bit more to let that release. And we're going to take that on the other side, front of the other leg. Place the ball down on the floor. Place your weight on top of the ball. Forearms for support. Rolling front. Good. And around. I'm gonna take the ball and move it down just a little bit lower. I'm gonna give that part of my quad a little more attention. Finding that knot right there. I feel it especially above my knee. So I'm gonna hold it here. Quads can get really tight and start to pull on the knee. If you start to feel knee pain, you might wanna try this technique to help alleviate any tension in the quad so your knee is free to move. 3, 2, 1, and roll it out. Good, so at this point, your legs should be feeling nice and loose. Now, there's a lot of different ways to work the upper body. Before HIIT, I really like to focus on my lower body, but I'll show you a few ways that you can use the ball to release the top upper body. So what I have here is a ball that actually has a vibrating feature. So I'm gonna turn that on and use that to roll out my shoulders and my traps. So working in and up through the shoulder, starting to feel some of the vibrations. Bring blood flow to the muscle. Good, so you can work up and around the shoulder. And then on that same side, work up and through the traps. Rolling forward and back, letting the vibrations of the ball really do the work for you. You're just adding a little extra pressure here with your hands, pushing it down. Let's take the other side. So again, pressing up and around the top of the shoulder, really manipulating the muscle, feeling it break apart a little bit here, breaking up some of the fascia, any of those adhesions that have formed. And again, letting some of those vibrations bring blood flow into the shoulder. And let's take that into the traps, moving forward and back along the top of the shoulders here. Really nice. Giving yourself a little massage before the workout always feels good. There's lots of different ways to use this for the upper body, but I'm just showing you how I like to use it today before my HIIT workout. But always remember to focus on the muscle and stay away from any bones. That will just cause extra pain and bruising. We're really focusing on the muscular system here. 3, 2, and 1. Nice, you can turn that off and place that aside. Thank you so much for joining me in this warm-up today. I hope you found some of these tips and techniques helpful. Really make it your own and do the warm-up that feels good for you. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.